So hi and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be showing you my kind of interior care routine that I do on my car. Now you're probably looking at these clips here and thinking, what you're on about? Your car already looks pretty clean. And that is sort of the point of the video. So essentially I do this sort of routine every couple of months, and in between then, weekly, I'll just do a quick wipe down with the damp microfiber cloth and also just clean the steering wheel and the driver's side mat. So I do drive this car quite a lot, to be honest. I'm in it for around an hour a day, every day, and this is pretty much as bad as the car's condition actually gets. So what I just wanted to show you is how I actually keep it looking pretty respectable all year round. So starting off with pretty simple products here, and that is Surf X HD. Now dilute it down to 1% because it is an all-purpose cleaner that's pretty potent anyway. And I find that 1% is perfectly fine for this car. You can dial it up, of course, a little bit if you're dealing with a dirtier interior, but for this, it's just sort of light dust and fingerprints that need dealing with. I find that there's no need to go higher, as of course the cost is going to increase, barely, but it does. And also, when you increase the concentration, it tends to leave behind a little bit more of a residue, whereas at 1% there's just no residue left behind. So I also like to go and clean the pedals roughly every couple of months. So for this, I'm just using a fairly stiff Volute Pro brush and that Surf X HD. Just working it in, using that brush before wiping everything clean, using the microfiber towel. And I find that this sort of keeps them in pretty good condition and avoids them getting too dirty. So once I've actually kind of cleaned all the different areas of the car, got the bulk of that done, I like to just go with a soft brush. So this is one by Jamb Detailing, and it's just a really soft, delicate brush that I use to get into all the kind of corners, some of the vents, and just the areas where the microfiber towel can't reach itself, just to make sure it is pretty spotless, as dust can build up in these areas if I don't keep an eye on it. Then I move on to the leather cleaning. So for this, I'm using one by the Leather Repair Company. I was very kindly sent a few products by this company quite a few months ago actually, and I've found that they just do a cracking job, and I've kept using them ever since. So I'm using this brush again by Jamb Detailing, but what I do is just dip it in water ever so slightly and give it a bit of a shake so it's just very slightly damp. And then I spray some products onto the brush itself and also onto the seats, and I find that this really helps to work the products in. Avoid you using too much products because I'm not cleaning too much dirt here. I just want to get a bit of agitation to make sure that they are thoroughly cleaned before adding the protection products later on in the process. So I work that in fairly thoroughly using this brush, and then I just use a microfiber towel to mop up the rest of the products and leave the seats looking clean. I absolutely love this product. It smells of leather itself, which is a really nice touch, and also it just does a great job at cleaning and doesn't leave any sort of residue behind. I am going to add a protection product on there, but you find that the finish it leaves behind itself is great. It's not tacky and it just does a really good job. So I also use this process on the steering wheel. Same process again, so that damp brush and work it in using the product. And I find that this just helps to lift any sort of grime that's on the steering wheel. I do this process more often, so I do the rest of the routine every couple of months, whereas I clean the steering wheel pretty often, so every few weeks I do this, on top of just doing the weekly wipe down with a damp microfiber towel, as it really is a pet hate of mine when I see a shiny steering wheel, so I like just to keep it looking as new as possible. So again, same process. Once I've actually worked the product in, you can just go and mop it up using a microfiber towel, and it leaves a residue-free finish. So it's great for on the steering wheel because obviously you don't want it feeling kind of tacky and to be any kind of finish left behind, whereas this, it's just completely matte and clean once it's dry. So as I said, I do use a protection product, and it is the Leather Repair Company's protection product. So it's called a protection cream, and it's really easy to apply. So I just whack it on a foam or a microfiber applicator in this case. Don't need much of the product at all, and then I work it in using circular motions. ensuring that all the areas are covered. Pay a decent amount of attention to the sides of the seats, as that's what gets quite a lot of wear when you're sort of sliding in and out of the car. You find that those are the areas that wear down more quickly. So as well as smelling like leather, which I think is a fantastic touch, and leaving a completely matte and natural finish, I find that this product's really effective to protect against potentially any stains. It's also going to protect against things like UV damage and keep the leather looking nicer for longer, which of course is exactly what I want. The idea of doing this routine every couple of months on a car that's already pretty clean, it's more about protecting it. I just want the finish to stay nice for as long as possible, and so that the car doesn't show its age. I've done a lot of travelling in this car now. I've had it almost 3 years, and hopefully you can kind of see that the interior is not showing too much wear at this stage. So once I'd gone and protected and cleaned all the leather, I was using GB Detailing's Fresh, and this is just an interior detailer which just leaves a really nice finish behind. Nothing that's going to look sort of sticky or leave any tacky finish, but it just leaves a very natural finish, refreshes the plastics a little bit, and also I found that it is quite anti-static, so that the dust build-up is definitely decreased when I'm using this product compared to when I just clean the surfaces. So this is another product that was very kindly sent and one that I'm using quite often now. Then I bring the mats inside and clean them. So of course I remove them before cleaning the rest of the car, but I like to clean this part last. Now I just go over it of course with my little hoover and just mop up any kind of dirt that's on there that can be easily removed. And then I like to use another GB Detailing product, and this is their Spotless Antibacterial Cleaner, which I really like because of course, you know, your shoes are on it and it's the dirtiest area of the car. So using something with antimicrobial properties I find just beneficial. It has a really fresh scent as well, which is lovely, and it just helps to kind of bring the carpet back up to scratch and looking nice and kind of fresh again. So I work this in using this brush, which I picked up in a Because Race Car subscription box last year. Then the final touch is to add an air freshener. So again, using a leather repair company one, and this of course smells like leather. I find that when I've been using leather products, this is a great one to finish it off with. Next, I just like to give the glass a bit of a clean using a waffle weave microfiber towel, and the glass cleaner of choice today is the one by Pyramid Car Care, which again smells fantastic. There's a theme with these interior products. I of course like them to smell nice. And the final step for me is just adding a little bit of protection to the door jambs. So I like to use a quick detailer for this, just as it's of course going to add a little bit of water behaviour and helps keep them a bit cleaner and add that protection. So here I'm using one for the first time, and this is Hydro by VP Car Care, which I picked up in one of their mystery boxes. So here you can see the overall results on the car. Hopefully you'll agree, it looks fairly clean. Of course there's not a huge transformation here. That was the whole point of the video, just to show you kind of how I keep it looking decent. If you have enjoyed this video, it'd be fantastic if you could give it a like. Comment down below if you've got any questions about the process or the products I've used. And if you're not subscribed already, then it'd be great if you could subscribe for weekly detailing videos like vehicle transformations, ones that are a little bit more exciting than this one, and also some product reviews. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time.